Here's a question most pet parents never ask. Is the kibble in that bag actually enough to help your dog make it to 14, 15, even 16 years old? Walk into any pet store and you'll see wall-to-wall bags all claiming to be the best. But here's the honest truth from behind the exam table. Even premium kibble is a processed, shelf-stable product. It's cooked at high heat so it lasts on a shelf for over a year. That process keeps your dog alive, but it strips out a lot of the living, active nutrition your dog needs to actually thrive as they age. I'm Dr. Tony Lee, and I know feeding your dog well can feel like a minefield. Everyone wants their dog to live forever, and most people simply can't afford a $300 a month raw or fresh cooked diet, and that's completely okay. Kibble is a solid, affordable foundation. What we're going to do today is upgrade it. Over the next few minutes, I'll walk you through 5 things I tell my own clients to add to their dog's regular bowl. Simple, inexpensive additions that support the kidneys, joints, brain, gut, and heart. Most of it is sitting in your fridge right now. Let's get into it. The most overlooked, cheapest fix in pet nutrition isn't a supplement, it's water. Think about where dogs came from. Their ancestors ate prey that was roughly 70% moisture. Their kidneys evolved around a wet diet. Kibble, by comparison, is only about 10% moisture. Feed that dry day after day for a decade, and your dog is living in a state of mild, constant dehydration, a slow, quiet burden on the kidneys, which is one of the most common causes of death in older dogs. You've probably seen it. Your dog finishes a bowl of dry food and immediately goes to chug water. That's their body trying to catch up. The problem is, gulping a large volume of water right after eating can raise the risk of bloat, a genuine emergency. So skip the bone-dry bowl. Ladle a quarter cup of dog-safe bone broth over the kibble and let it soak for about 5 minutes before serving. If you're buying broth at the store, check the label. It has to be unsalted and free of onion or garlic, both of which are toxic to dogs. If broth isn't in the budget, plain warm water works too. It makes the food smell more appealing to picky eaters and gets that hydration into your dog without them having to gulp it down separately. Picture an oil you could drizzle over dinner that helps protect the heart, the brain, and the joints at once. That's what a good omega-3 does. Chronic inflammation sits at the root of nearly every disease we see in aging dogs: arthritis, heart disease, even cancer. Most kibble is loaded with omega-6 fats from the grains and animal fats used to make it, and omega-6s tend to be pro-inflammatory. Omega-3s are the counterbalance, the body's natural anti-inflammatory tool. The catch is that omega-3 oils oxidize fast once exposed to air, so even a bag that lists them on the label may have lost most of their potency by the time it's been open a week in your pantry. I see this constantly. An owner brings in an 8-year-old dog and says, "He's just slowing down, doesn't jump on the couch anymore, sleeps all day." 9 times out of 10, that's not just age, that's low-grade arthritis inflammation quietly flaring in the joints. Add a real, fresh omega-3, and a month later, that same dog is back to chasing the ball. My go-to is pure salmon oil in an airtight pump bottle stored in the fridge so it stays fresh. 2 pumps over the food is genuinely one of the highest impact things you can add. Prefer whole food? Canned sardines packed in water, no added salt. 1 or 2 on top of the kibble twice a week delivers a strong dose of omega-3s and clean protein. One caution: omega-3s are fat, and too much too fast can upset a dog's stomach. Start with a small amount, a drop of oil or half a sardine, and build up gradually over about 2 weeks. This one's for the brain, and it comes from something you probably already keep in your own kitchen when you're trying to eat healthy: blueberries. As dogs age, their cells accumulate damage from oxidative stress, waste byproducts called free radicals that harm tissue and, over time, the brain itself. That damage is part of what drives canine cognitive dysfunction, essentially the canine version of dementia. Antioxidants act like little cleanup crews, neutralizing free radicals before they cause lasting harm, and blueberries are one of the richest natural sources. Cognitive decline in older dogs is genuinely heartbreaking to watch. A 12-year-old dog staring blankly at a wall, getting stuck behind the couch, pacing anxiously in the middle of the night because they've lost track of their own routine. Once that damage sets in, we can't reverse it. So the real value is prevention, starting while your dog is still young or middle-aged. Here's where most people go wrong, though. They toss a few whole blueberries in the bowl and call it done. Dogs have short, acidic digestive tracts, and a whole berry often passes right through undigested. You'll actually see it in the yard the next day. Instead, mash them. Take 5 or 6 berries, fresh or frozen, and crush them with a fork until the skins break open. Mix that purple pulp into the kibble. If you're using frozen berries, microwave them for about 10 seconds first so they soften enough to mash easily. What you end up with is a naturally sweet, antioxidant-packed topper most dogs go crazy for. Here's a number that surprises most people. Roughly 70 to 80% of your dog's entire immune system lives in their gut. The digestive tract is home to trillions of bacteria, the microbiome, and that ecosystem fights infection, breaks down food, and even communicates with the brain. The problem is that kibble is extruded at very high heat to give it that long shelf life, and that heat wipes out most of the living bacteria in the food, good and bad alike. A dog eating only sterile, processed food long term can end up with a starved, imbalanced gut and a weaker immune system as a result. If your dog deals with chronically itchy paws or recurring ear infections that smell yeasty, most owners assume it's a food allergy or something in the grass. Sometimes it is, but very often it's actually an out-of-balance gut microbiome letting yeast run unchecked through the body. The fix is putting living bacteria back into the bowl, a probiotic. One of the simplest, cheapest options is plain kefir or plain unsweetened yogurt, both loaded with live cultures. For a medium-sized dog, about a tablespoon mixed into dinner is a reasonable amount. Same rule as the bone broth. Read the label. Never use flavored or vanilla yogurt. The sugar content, and sometimes artificial sweeteners like xylitol, can be genuinely dangerous for dogs. If your dog is lactose intolerant, skip dairy altogether and ask your vet about a pet-specific probiotic powder instead. A scoop over the kibble does the same job. Last one, and honestly, this is the one I wish more people took seriously, because dental disease is one of the quietest killers of adult dogs. A lot of owners chalk up bad breath to just a dog thing. It's not. That smell is bacteria and infected tissue. Here's why it matters so much. The gums are packed with tiny blood vessels, and when plaque and tartar build up, bacteria gets pushed straight into the bloodstream every time your dog chews. That blood travels directly to the heart valves and kidneys. Years of untreated dental buildup can genuinely contribute to heart failure and kidney disease down the road. I've had cases where a sweet, older dog comes in for a routine visit with just a mild cough, and when I listen to the heart, there's a clear murmur. Lift the lip, and the teeth are covered in hardened tartar. That heart problem wasn't purely genetic. Years of bacterial exposure through the gums played a real role. Nobody loves brushing a dog's teeth, but there are easier entry points. Enzymatic powders, often made from kelp or seaweed extracts like Ascophyllum nodosum, get sprinkled over the food, get absorbed, and are secreted through saliva, where they help soften plaque so it flakes off naturally as your dog chews. One important tip, whatever product you choose, look for the VOHC seal. That's the Veterinary Oral Health Council. It means the product has actually been tested and shown to reduce plaque. Without that seal, you're often just paying for marketing. That said, nothing replaces actual brushing. Just 3 times a week with a dog-safe toothpaste and a finger brush can meaningfully extend your dog's life by protecting the heart. It takes under a minute. Look at what we've built. A plain bowl of dry kibble, now soaked in warm broth for the kidneys, topped with salmon oil for the joints, mixed with mashed blueberries for the brain, boosted with probiotics for the immune system, and finished with a dental powder for the heart. That's not just dinner anymore. That's a bowl of preventative care. And it didn't cost hundreds of dollars or require any special training. You don't have to do all 5 tonight. Pick one. Maybe it's soaking the food in warm water this week, or grabbing a can of sardines on your next grocery run. Small changes, done consistently, are what actually add years. Which one are you going to try first? I'd genuinely like to know. Drop it in the comments. Thanks for watching, and here's to a longer, healthier life for your dog.